Long ago, in a distant land on the Leogram Peninsula, a remarkable kingdom emerged. Though smaller in size compared to the mighty kingdoms of the mainland, it was strong enough to protect itself, develop and, moreover, to have a good reputation manifested in its neighbors willing to form an alliance. This kingdom we now know as Gransys. While many wondered how Gransys flourished so rapidly in comparison to its neighbors, others knew. It's because of Godking Leonart, a mighty warrior who was the first to slay the dragon that plagued these lands. The First Arisen of Gransys. The tale of the First Arisen of Gransys was well known, but did it hold the whole truth? Under the reign of Leonart, Gransys achieved the prosperity it never achieved before. Right after the dragon was banished away from Gransys, Godking Leonart embarked on a mission to unite the Leogram Peninsula. Despite the painful loss of his wife during the last dragon attack, leaving him raising his daughter Elise on his own, Leonart didn't seek a new spouse for political gain, because being a hero who fearlessly faced the dragon was enough. The campaign went rather successfully, and soon he had a great army that was ready to fight under his banners. But fight for what? Or against what? What was Leonart so afraid of if he had the power to exile the dragon? Leonart knew the dragon would return. That's why he didn't waste time celebrating the victory, instead focusing on expanding his army and preparing for the next, final battle. And the dragon indeed returned, bringing death and despair to the land of Gransys once again. Thus, the Wim Hunt began. But no matter how tall the fortification walls, how big the army, or how skillful its generals, no one but Arisen can slay the dragon. And deep within, Godking Leonart knew that, but was too afraid to accept. This denial led to the needless loss of countless lives. After years of draining war, he once again banished the dragon, but at a greater cost, including the death of one of his gallant warriors and dearest friends. It hardly could be called a victory. The land lay in ruins. Mothers mourned their children, sons grieved for their fathers, and all the pain seemed for nothing, for the dragon's return was inevitable. But for now, let's shift our focus from Godking Leonart to a young man who lost everything: his home, his family, yet not his hope. Driven by the thirst for revenge, he tried to face the dragon, fully aware of his chances for victory. And yes, he didn't win. The dragon ripped the boy's heart as soon as he reached him. But the beast was impressed by the courage of the young warrior, so he let the boy live, decreeing that he must become strong to exact vengeance. Shortly after, the dragon was banished by Godking Leonart once again. Years have passed. The boy became a valiant warrior, much like his father. His reputation as a wise commander spread far and wide. But there were also those who mistrusted him or feared. Rumors circulated his followers were very strange, out of this world even, didn't speak too much, if spoke, were always telling something about wolves. They acted strange, as if they were some kind of a living puppet. Leonard's decision to ban these followers from entering the castle only fueled suspicions. This young man's name was Savan. Due to his achievements, he became one of Godking Leonart's best warriors. So why was Leonard so against letting Savan's followers in the castle? Maybe one of the followers reminded Leonard of his good friend that he lost in the war against the dragon. Or maybe he was afraid they knew something nobody should ever know about. Savan became a close friend of Godking Leonart to be called a welcome guest at the castle. Over time, his bond with Princess Elise, Leonard's daughter, grew stronger. Savan was one of the best warriors Gransys ever knew. His father was Leonard's friend, and it's no surprise that Godking wanted to be in a good relationship with Savan. Moreover, there was the matter of Savan being the new Arisen, and Leonard didn't want Savan to act independently. When the dragon returned once again, Leonard didn't want Savan to participate in the worm hunt, claiming he didn't want to lose Savan like he lost his father, but also trying to persuade Savan that killing the dragon wouldn't bring his heart back. Godking Leonart assembled his army and decided to take Princess Elise in this campaign, explaining it would raise the morale of the army and lead the worm hunt to the mountain, where the final battle would unfold. But Savan was ordered to stay behind to guard the encampment. The main pawn, Salde, was suspicious of Leonard and suggested that he should accompany the army to report back to Savan on what he'd see. Despite the size of Leonard's army, history repeated itself. The army was destroyed, with only a handful surviving. To save himself, Leonard once again decided to take Dragon's bargain and sacrifice the one he loved the most, his daughter Elise. Perhaps this was the true reason why he had brought Elise on the campaign. Salde retreated to tell Savan what he'd seen, and Savan, with no hesitation, set out to face the dragon by himself. By the time Savan arrived, there was no army, no dragon, and no Elise. Leonard tried to convince Savan to step back to reinforce and seize the lands of those who lost their armies in the battle, avoiding any mention of Elise. It was obvious. Godking lost his hope. He no longer could be called Arisen. Unconvinced, Savan pursued the dragon to the tainted mountain temple, and soon the legend of the hero who slayed the dragon spread throughout the continent. What we now know as the tale of the First Arisen of Gransys, Godking Leonart. And as for Savan, he disappeared on the day he challenged the dragon, and his name slowly faded from history, remembered as one of countless knights of brave Godking Leonart who perished in the battle against the dragon.